Good
There you
afternoon,
go.
everybody. This is Public Works Committee meeting on Tuesday, March 14th, 2023 at 2:30 p.m. We are conducting this meeting by remote. Present today is Councilman Randy Allison, Councilman Vince Polizzi. We have Community Development, Skip Mimi. We have John Sanders, our city engineer. I see we have Scott Livermore from Streets and Parks. We have Chris Black from our IT person. I see someone who is Chris's. I see Chris's. Who is that, Chris? Do you know?
That's
Chris.
Chris.
It's
Okay.
getting removed.
That's you too?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do I have any? And Janice Frank is our a city clerk. I thought I saw her up here at this point. All right, so we're going to start. We have 3 items on our agenda today. We're going to flip this a little bit just in case, okay, the mayor shows up, okay? You know the man is busy, but, so we're going to go to item 2, resolution awarding professional design services to Livic Civil LLC. Is that stated, John, Livic, L-I-V-I-C?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. It's Livic, L-I-V-I-C, Livic Consulting Engineers. Livic Consulting Engineers out of Williamsport. So what this is in 2017, the city was awarded a ARLI grant, which is a grant for traffic signal or traffic pedestrian upgrade items. And the city never did anything with that grant. So PennDOT came to us, the city, and said, would you like to repurpose it? Obviously we did. Myself and Livic and PennDOT District 3 worked together to repurpose this grant. Originally, these monies, the grant amount was for $230,676. That grant dollar amount was for upgrades at Pine and Third at the signal there. We currently did not have any need for upgrades there, so we pivoted and salvaged the grant for crosswalks that are in need of thermoplastic applications scattered about the city. Through this process, Livic Civil actually went all around the city looking for these locations, and he also made a template for the city's use for all of our traffic signals. So this is one of the actual few times that for professional services, I did not put out a request for proposal. Since Livic did all this work ahead of time for free, I wanted to see if they would do this design work for me. And the design work is simply pulling together plan sets, small plan sets, a contract, and bidding out for these crosswalk improvements at various locations in and around the city, in the city of Williamsport. So the design contract is for $45,322, which is exactly what the exact dollar figure the ARLI grant had it in as well. And we only have to pay, it's a 80-15 grant, so 80% of the is grant money and 15% is local match. We would only need to pay $6,798. And that I'm proposing that to come out of our Act 13 funds, which has roughly $1 million as of a couple of weeks ago. So that's it in a nutshell. Let me know if you have any questions.
Randy, any questions?
Let me see. I just it looks like there's 6 intersections. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Oh, and I noticed they're going to have a full-time inspector
That's correct.
on this site. So
The
I like
design-
that.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Randy. It's for
No.
design, bidding, and full-time inspection. That's
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a pretty good deal, I think, for, to get 6 intersections done and then have the follow-up and someone right on site for the construction period. So yeah, I like it. Good job.
Fantastic. Vince, do you have any questions?
Nothing that Randy hadn't already said. So no questions.
John, this is wonderful that PennDOT came to you with this. I didn't quite hear where you said the $6,798 is coming from?
Sure.
Where's that being pulled from?
Sure. So this is a 80-15 grant, 80%, 85%, 85% is grant money, 15% is local match. The local match of $6,798 would be coming from our Act 13 account.
Act 13, okay.
Which currently has about $1 million.
All right, because it said ARLE and it's like, okay. All right, so it's gonna come out of the ARPA funds.
Yeah, I didn't if you look at the resolution, Bonnie, I actually wrote it on the resolution. I didn't write it in the email, but if you looked at the resolution PDF, I clearly put it on there. That way it's on the front page of the resolution where the money's coming from.
Yeah, I do see it. I just wanted to clarify where this is, where it was coming from. And they're doing, what made them decide on these 6 intersections? Do you know?
That was actually Livick and PennDOT mostly did that themselves. So I don't have an answer to that.
You don't know why they did that. And the other question I have is, you said something about they're using plastic.
Yeah, so it's a white plastic material that gets placed down on the asphalt and it gets heated and it adheres to the asphalt surface.
Does it look like bricks?
No, it's white.
It's all, it is all white. Oh,
The white crosswalk markings, basically.
which is good, because I'm going to tell you, the crosswalks that have been done in the city, especially the one that I've experienced a lot of, is the one on Pine and Fourth. When that gets wet, it's slippery when you're walking across that. It really is with those the way they put those forms in with fake looking bricks. Okay, so this must be much better than that. And when are they planning on starting this?
They're ready now. They're a small and upcoming firm out of Bloomsburg, and this will be their first project awarded. This will be their first project with the city. They're eager to start. In fact, I've been nudged by themselves to hire them. So I know they're eager to start.
How does this affect the streets? Is there any street repairs going on around these intersections?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Okay. Just wanted to double check to see if there was.
Yep.
And this should not take that long to do then.
No, ma'am. I mean, it'll probably take longer to actually pull together the bid package and design it than it will be to actually construct it. But it's just like when PennDOT, the grantor, gives the city a grantee money and we don't spend it, it doesn't make us look good. So I'm trying to, spend the money that we were given.
Right.
That's basically
Doing a good job, John. Doing a real good job. If there's no other questions, we will go on to item number 1 because I see the mayor is here. Mayor, how are you doing today?
Doing well, a little busy, but doing well, Councilwoman. How are you?
Doing good. This is a resolution authorizing the execution of Bowman Field rental agreements.
Yes, what you have before you is the resolution for the Bowman Field rental agreement. We met with the Bowman Field Commission last week, I believe that was. Councilman Allison was there. We basically just buttoned up this agreement. It was sort of piecemealed a little bit. We made all of we condensed the charges. And honestly, the conversation with the Bowman Field Commission felt as though over the next few years, we could continue to increase it a little bit. It's really nominal. It was a nominal increase this year. By the time, the way it was before, you had different charges and then you had to add them all together at the end. Now we just went and condensed those into a charge so everybody knows if it's a single game, if it's a double header, all the different things that they want. If they want the scoreboard, do they want the video board, etc. So now it's a lot cleaner in this version that we did this year. Worked with the crosscutters and the Bowman Field Commission both. Felt that it was, that this agreement just makes a little more sense. And again, it's really only a nominal increase. And as I said, I think Bowman Field Commission and I was on board as well that we can continue to probably increase this cost a little bit. It is the 3rd major league ballpark for all intents and purposes in Pennsylvania. Obviously, the Phillies and the Pirates and then here in Williamsport. So it's a, you know, high schools and colleges that are playing on it. It's a major league playing surface, of course. And I think we've discussed that in the past. So anyway, this cleans up the language a little bit, buttons it up, and is a little more user friendly, so to speak. So that's what's before you now, before City Council. And I'll turn it back over to you, Councilwoman
Okay,
Kentz.
Randy, since you were at the meeting, anything to add to this?
Not anything huge, just that, as the mayor said, the fee's gone up, but we're still under. Gabe Sinacropi said we're still under what other similar facilities are charging. And in fact, I mean, we probably have a better facility than just about anybody now, as far as the field itself. So I think we had talked about the the usage restrictions before we got to this in our last public works, about all the regulation there is to keep the field safe and in good use. And we discussed that some. And I forget the gentleman's name who was there, Mayor Slaughter, that MLB
Cam.
has Ham.
Cam.
What was this? Oh, Cam. Yeah, Cam. Boy, he's just a top-notch individual that oversees the care of the field for me,
He's a
for ML.
year-round groundskeeper.
Mhm. And he's MLB's guardian of the facility. So, you know, we really are fortunate to have someone that professional and knowledgeable on board, and he coordinates with the colleges and all the users. So yeah, it's just a win-win for everybody. And that
Then-
some of that extra fee is going to go towards the facility. So, you know, it's going to mitigate of somewhat what we have to put into it. So I think it's
Vince,
a
do you
good
have
deal.
any questions? Questions or statements?
No, I'm gonna hold off on statements for a while, but no questions. I will
Oh,
just
God,
state
that's
that,
threatening.
I will just state, I'll make one statement, and I think Randy put it perfectly. Again, reflected my sentiments exactly, if I had gotten to them first, so.
Okay,
Vince-
fantastic.
Vince doesn't threaten. He's just straightforward. He
He's
lets you
sitting
know.
right out there.
That's the way we'd
That's why I
like
said,
it.
when he said
Yeah.
he'd save it, it's like, what? I do a couple of things, you know, because I've been on the Bowling Field Commission for, God, I don't know how long. And these fees, we've tried to expand them year after year. And the public has got to understand, even what we're renting the field out for now, we're still not, we're not covering all of our bases with this, to put it that way. It's still costing the city a little bit of money to rent this field out. And, you know, I agree with you, Mayor, and I agree with everybody else that we're going to have to increase this yearly. I know it's difficult sometimes for the colleges, and especially if the high schools or other people want to play on this field, but the honor to do work on this field has got to be something. I mean, if anybody has, you know, we have been privy to touching that grass, and there is nothing so spectacular as touching that grass on that field.
Mhm.
And they do. The gentleman Cam takes care of this so wonderfully all year round, and we, you know, it's becoming a jewel for us. I mean, even the Bowman Field has always been a jewel, but to have this kind of field and to have this expert that takes care of it, I think is wonderful. So we do have to put the money into it. We do have to make sure that this is not going to cost the taxpayers money, that the fees are in line with what it does cost. So, you know, every year, I think we do have to add a little bit more onto this. because let's face it, everything in life is getting more and more expensive to use and to cover. And so I'm thrilled with the commission. I think they were very happy with the meeting, and it's going to be an exciting season again. I think people are really excited, and waiting forward to starting this. Did anything come up about the first game, Mayor, at all? This is starting in May, I think.
You mean the crosscutters? Or
Yes, well, no, don't
we
we
did
have some
talk about
college
that a
games?
little bit. I think crosscutters first game is June. I know they said it, Randy. I forget off top.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's like the beginning of June, like June 4th or something like that. But the discussion was just around, and the high schools already know, and obviously the colleges will pretty much will be done by that point. But just that they have to be finished up before the crosscutters start. So they coordinated all that. We're good to go there.
But don't the colleges go in there ahead of time? I think there's a couple of
Colleges
college games.
start, I think they start in April, I believe.
That's what I thought May, okay. So
Yeah,
it is April.
they don't let, I think they had asked for maybe a couple days in March just to practice, but that was due to obviously the conditions. They're not able to get on the field in March, so I think they're starting in April.
Nope, it's a great field, and it's a great, like I said, it's a jewel of the community. Anybody have any other questions at all from anybody? If not, we will see all this we won't see you on Thursday, Mayor. You're going to be off.
Right. Yeah, I won't be
Off
there.
at another meeting.
Yeah, I think Scott's going to handle it, I believe, on Thursday. I may be able to call in but I can't guarantee it.
Okay, fantastic. So if there's no other questions, we will go on to item number 3, which is any related items. Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda here with any related items?
No.
I don't.
If not, then I'm going to ask for.
That's funny. I did actually. I put it on the last minute Friday. I got concurrence from Janice Frank and wanted to put a discussion item on in regards to a potential recreation item. It was on the agenda. I think it got on the revised agenda. The splash pad item I was talking about.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I didn't see that if it was. So you're saying there's another item that should have been on this agenda?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and John, you're saying it's a splash pad? Is this the email that came down about the splash pad in Brandon?
That's correct.
Okay, well then, if you brought it up, I'm sorry that I didn't have the revised agenda. So item number 3 then is a discussion by John Sanders about a splash pad in Brandon Park.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
up, John.
Yes, ma'am. It's Chris, how do I share my screen here? I assume advanced sharing options, I'm guessing.
Go to, yes.
One participant, host on, who can, how do I share screen? There we go. I got it. I got her now. She's a coming.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Cool.
So, the administration was looking at a potential option for a second splash pad within the city of Williamsport. We were looking at different locations, some of our city parks. One of them that popped out to us as a real good possibility, and it's cost effective, is actually Brandon Park. Specifically at the location of the old pool. You're looking at an image right now. You guys see the image on my screen by chance?
I do.
Okay. So what you're looking at is the Google Earth image from 2015. Back then, the old pool, wading pool was still there. In 2016, it was removed. We're looking to put a splash pad at that size, of that orientation, at approximately that location. Community development has funding that needs to be spent, and I'll let Mayor Slaughter or Skip touch on that. But we have, just like before, I have worked with Vortex, who's a CoStar's supplier, and I have a purchase order. This is just discussion on only item, just to let you know. I have a purchase order for the parts, for the design, and for the training, the same as last year, to potentially put another one of these in one of our city parks. And we figured Brandon was a good option, specifically because of the parking on site, just on the left side of the image there, and the bathrooms and changing facilities are right there as well. We already have, as you can see, my little blue and red lines, on-site water and electricity. So those would be very cost effective to hook up, seeing as that was an old pool. So right now, I just scrolled up. There is the image of where this potential pad would go, panoramic from a couple months ago. I'm going to go down here. This is just a zoomed in image of what you saw earlier. And this is kind of what, well, not kind of, this is exactly what the finished product would look like if we decide to pursue this any further. So, like I said, we just figured Brandon is a good park because a lot of things are going on there right now with the ball fields, and we also have parking there and bathroom facilities. So I think Mayor Slaughter or Skip Mimi might want to touch on the funding if they could.
Okay, is the mayor there?
The mayor is not here, Councilwoman Katz. I can try to address the issues of the funding. It is actually some of our CDBG COVID dollars that we need to spend rather quickly. The timing is going to become an issue here to have them expended to 80% of the award amount. That's coming up rather quickly. We had originally, as if we were looking at Newberry, but some of the logistical issues relevant to bathrooms and parking and water supply, et cetera, just were too costly for us to try to do this in Newberry. That's where Brandon became the preferred alternative because a lot of the infrastructure was already in place. It's just a matter of getting it brought up to code and moving forward. We have approximately $450,000 for this project. And if I remember what John said, the materials will cost about $250,000. And then we would have the rest of it to do the construction of the project as we move forward. With that, that's all of it in a nutshell. I'll be glad to answer any other questions.
Skip, first of all, I'm really disappointed we can't do this in Newberry. I think this would have been such an asset in Phil Preciosi's park. That would have been wonderful for that end of town. But Brandon Park really was the first place when I was talking to people even during the Campana administration about splash pads that, Brandon Park would be very conducive to this. But I thought when you were talking community development money, that this had to be a lower income money to be used.
Brandon Park does fall into the low mod neighborhood. So it does, the park itself does qualify.
Does it really?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it would be a great place. Just for the heck of it, how much would it have cost in Newberry? I know you're talking water, you're talking bathrooms, you're talking the infrastructure, the whole 9 yards. John, is there a ballpark figure?
We did not cost it out, but I'll bet you it was probably more expensive to build the bathroom changing area and everything than the splash pad itself, to be honest, or pretty close to it. I mean, there's nothing there now. In addition to that, obviously there's no bathroom changing area. There's no good location or orientation for parking either. So we really wanted to put it in Newberry as well. However, the site just didn't lend itself to make it happen. So
Why do you need a changing area?
it's a requirement from the PA Department of Health, gentlemen. They're sort of one of the requirements. It's Pennsylvania Department of Health classifies splash pads as of now similar to that of a pool because they don't quite have a classification for splash pads yet. So they need bathrooms and changing areas for a splash pad.
Because, from my way of thinking, I thought having a splash pad took away all those kind of incidentals. I know a bathroom is not an incidental, but a changing room,
Yep.
Interesting what the government comes up with and makes our lives more more difficult. Okay, say this is all coming, the total cost of this is coming out of community development money, Skip? And
That's our intention, yes, Councilwoman.
would we have, the city have to have anything coming into this? Any kind of matching funds?
At this point in time, we don't think so. But again, it'll be all relevant to the bids.
Yeah, Skip's correct.
Like I said, we have about $450,000 to $500,000. But, you know, if it comes in over that, we're gonna have to come back and rethink it a little bit. We should cover the majority of it with CV funds. But it's all relevant to what the bid prices will be.
Yeah, Skip's correct. And this, just to let you guys, give you a little more insight here, the $230,000 purchase order is just for the parts, everything you see on the screen there, also the filtration system, all the things below that you don't see, the huge, massive 2,000-gallon tanks below, all types of plumbing, etc. There's also going to be a construction price component, which, you know, we're looking at like $430,000, $450,000 total. So just keep that in mind. And this isn't, like I said, this is just discussion item, just not voting on anything. I just want to kind of let
And
everyone know.
John, what's the size of this?
This item, what you're in front of you, is perfectly oval shaped, 60 in the long axis and a 35 in the short direction there. It's about half the size square footage wise of the one over at Shaw. A little smaller, but as you can see there, it's still pretty fun looking. A lot of room for activity.
Splash pads are, they are a lot of fun. I'm going to open this up to the committee. Randy, any questions?
Yeah, John, in the total, the 450, 430 to 450, does that include interior work on the bathhouse?
That does not. That does not.
Okay, that's in terrible shape, interior. If we don't fix that up, it's going to be unusable, I believe. So I question how we can do this project if that's not going to be addressed.
Good point. I was in that bathroom about a year ago. I don't know, Scott Livermore, are you on the call still? I don't know if you were in the bathroom recently.
Yeah, we were just out not too long ago. I'm gonna have probably our parks department, you know, get a fresh coat of paint on the inside and check everything. I mean, everything, we had Lycoming College in there because they would like to use the facility as well for their ballpark. And they seemed to like that it was gonna work for them as well. So, yeah, I mean, as far as some minor stuff getting cleaned up, but we fixed the roof here last year, so I didn't notice any bad cosmetics right out of the gate, but we just kind of did a quick showing to them. But yeah, we'll take a further look at it and see if we have to fix anything, obviously, to be repaired.
Okay, as long as we have that covered, you know, I haven't been inside, so I'm just speaking to some others who have been that said it was in deplorable shape. I don't know if it's just cosmetics or functional, but you know, that's going to be important that we get that up to speed.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I have.
Vince, any questions?
I do. Thank you, Bonnie. Skip or John, do we have any idea what the annual operating costs for this are going to be? Or, you know, or if we'll be able to get grant funding for said operating costs, what replacement costs, life of things are? You know, I think it's a great idea putting in a splash pad. And even if we get the, you know, getting a grant to fund the majority, if not all of it, is always great. But, you know, when I look at where we're at financially with our revenues versus our expenses city-wise, and then I look at a project like this, you know, I think that's great for the community, but I'm thinking I see nothing but a bunch of bills in the next coming years with a project like this. So do we know what it's going to cost us, you know, to run annually? Any of those kinds of numbers?
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Vince. I'll take a deeper dive at that before if we decide to move this ahead to actual voting item, maybe at the end of the month, I will get good costs. I mean, there are two, the system essentially takes care of itself, but obviously the system takes electricity,
Mhm.
water from the water authority, and the two main, there's two chemicals that are used to clean the water and recirculate it. Nothing major, just, but they're just stored in 55-gallon drums that are buried in the ground. But that's a fantastic point. I will look into that for annual cost and get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you. I appreciate it, John. And I do remember, for the first splash pad, you did very thorough presentation. Remember, a lot of this water's recycled. It's on a timer. Those are great cost savings, and to be, cognizant of environmental wastefulness. I think it's great. But I just look at it and I think it'd be great to buy it, but I hope we can afford to keep it, right?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Okay.
it's like we keep on saying, our wants and needs can be so different. I think we all want something like this, but do we need it if we can't afford it? Yes, we can get the product, but the care and maintenance of any of these items has to come into play, because this is passed down to the next council and other people and taxpayers. So yeah, John, I think we do have to know what we're getting into. And Scott, to make sure when this does come as a voting item, to make sure we know where the bathhouse is and how that stands, since that has to be incorporated also. So, but presentation looks good.
Bonnie, I have one more question.
Sure.
Since we got into the subject of the chemicals and everything, I forgot I wanted to ask, do we have anybody certified at this point to take care of the pool and the splash pads as far as the chemicals?
Yes, we do. Yeah. We have a person in-house that's certified to take care of that.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I know there's a lot that goes into it, and they're going to be kept busy, I would think.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Amount.
So it's Vanessa that's in our office. She's certified to run it, and also Sean Walker will be working underneath her to maintain what we have right now.
You mean as far as
Is he going after certification?
He will be, yes, but he's gonna work closely
Okay.
with Vanessa this year because the test is pretty difficult to pass. So we want to make sure we set him up for as much success as we can. So he's gonna work side by side with her for a portion of the summer.
what's the price, the cost for taking the test, Scott?
I don't think it was a lot. I think it was like $60. It
Okay.
wasn't a lot. You had to get two different certifications. You had to get the core and then the pool test. But it was like $60 to get, and then you guys got to maintain credits throughout the next 2 years of it.
Okay, great, thank you.
And thank you
Anything
guys
else?
thank you guys for the good questions in regards to maintenance and some of these yearly costs. That's something we'll have to take a dive.
Well, you
Gotta go.
also have to, John, remember, you're putting the cost also of anything that goes around like we do with Shaw. Do we need sidewalks? Do we need any kind of special lighting or anything else like that?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a sidewalk addition, but for this one, but there won't be as much other costs at this one as there would have been at Shaw. So, but these are all
And
fantastic.
if this comes to fruition, maybe we can get people to donate park benches that parents can sit there and watch their kids run through these, and save us money there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see, because organizations used to do that years ago. Randy, remember, you'd see that around all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And-
the Brandon Park Commission they're getting funding for donations. They're putting more benches, replacing worn out benches in the park. So, I think it's a good point, Bonnie.
Yeah, because you want the kids to have fun, and you want the parents to be able to sit back and just watch and be not say,
Mhm.
okay, you have 10 minutes and we got to go home because I'm not going to stand here for that long.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
that
think
could
you'll have
benefit.
so I was gonna say, I think you'll have a lot more success asking businesses to donate benches. Or at least for the cost of benches, if you catch them sometime around November.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, if there's no other questions, John, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you then, whenever you're going to present this to us, okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
like anything else, John, you have more work to do.
Thank you.
Okay, the last item on the agenda is any related items, and is there anybody out there that hasn't been on this agenda that should have been? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See you all on Thursday.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye
day.
now.